I was watching Gary, who's the founder of Access, do a video that he recorded as an invitation to Global Foundation, which is the foundation class where they rewrite it every year. And he said, I'd like to invite you to foundation. What are we going to do over these 4 days? We are going to shatter your reality so that you can actually create a reality that really works for you. And it struck me. It struck me in its elegance. It struck me in its like simplicity. It also struck me as the most true thing that you could say about this class ever. And one of the things that made me look at is how grateful I am for the shattering that has occurred over the 7 years. Because there have been so many moments in so many classes where I'm coming out and I'm like, I have no idea how to function now. I have functioned from this limitation or this set of conclusions or whatever it is for so long. Like, I don't know how do you?
That is like the best part when you come out of these access classes is you come out and you're like, who the fuck am I? Like, how do I do this again? But that blank space is like the space where you get to choose. And
choose. And Gary has said repeatedly, he's like, you guys don't know how to choose. He's like, so don't expect yourself to know how to choose. You just got to start, it's choice in every 10 seconds. So I have a new choice now. What can I choose? I have a new choice now. We all apply these keys, and the 10 keys to total freedom are in the foundation manual. We all apply them really differently, but yeah, I was like, gosh, I really have created a reality that really does work for me. Like a relationship that really works finally after 25 years, financial reality that really works, like everything. I look around my life and I'm like, my life really, really works for me. And now I'm just like, what else can I add to make it more interesting, to make it more fun? But I didn't have that ability before. I didn't even know I could do that. It was exactly what you said in the first video. I didn't even know I could do that.
And like before you went to your first foundation class, like what did you believe you had to be a certain way in relationships? You had to do it the right way, right?
For me, I felt trapped and doomed to a life of bad relationships. Somebody had told me that, my mom had told me that I was bad at relationships. And I was bad at relationships because I had been abused. And so it was an inevitability that I was going to be bad at relationships. But the pain of bad relationships was driving me to seek something that was going to help me be good at them. I realize that now. Like, I was in so much pain with relationships. My second marriage, I had just exited my second marriage, which to me was like the kiss of death. At 38, been married twice. I was over the hill. I was a cougar. Everything for me was like the end of the world. And I was in the pain of like, God, I don't want to be bad at relationships. I don't want this. I want a different reality. I don't know that it wasn't even a sense that it was possible. It was just, I don't want this. And what else? What else? Like, help, So it was this sort of desperate, I can't be destroyed. Am I destroyed? Thing. And so for me in my first session before foundation, discovering that there were these tools that could just change things. Like, oh yeah, you think that? Never mind. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, walk, all down, shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh yeah, you have that point of view? Never mind. Right, wrong. And I'm like,
what?
You just right, wrong, good, bad, pod, walk, all down, shorts, boys and beyonds, point of view. Like,
that easy?
Like, and it's just gone. Like, just that's it.
If you're listening to it and don't know what she just said, you can go to theclearancestatement.com and it will all make sense.
And I'm like, what? Like, that was one of the things that struck me. And then the things that they right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all my shorts, boys and beyonds stayed different. Like, they stayed gone. I didn't revert. I didn't like become they stayed different. And so I remember that was the thing that drove me to go to foundation, was that first session actually where somebody processed me. That's called processing. And I was like, I asked her, I'm like, where do you find these? Where do you get more of these? And she's like, in the foundation class. And I was like, I have to go there. Like, and then I didn't choose it for like 4 months because money. I'm like, how do you even pay for something like that? That's out of the realm of possibility. So it's a very long answer to your question, but like, I came into foundation really believing I was pretty destroyed with the faint hope, the faint, like, that something else might be possible for me.
Yeah. Yeah. You walk in there thinking you're the most fucked up thing on the planet, and then you see your people. You're like, oh my God, humanoid.
And everything too.
You're my people. What, I remember being in, like, the first time I got verbally processed, like you reminded me, and I was like, whoa, someone just asked me a question. That facilitator just asked me a question, and I got the awareness. Like, I was like, oh, she didn't tell me what's wrong with me. She didn't tell me what's going to fix this or what's going to change it or what I need to change about myself. But she literally asked me a question. I was like, what? I was literally like a dog watching the TV. I was like, huh? What? Oh my God, that was amazing. Do it again.
Do it again. Totally. Yeah, my friend, like I remember totally my first class, there was a couple of, they invited us to, when they would ask us a question, to really get the awareness. And awareness is something that like pops up into your mouth instantly. Awareness doesn't take time. You don't have to think about it. It's just there. So, they'd ask a question like something weird, like, truth, are there other beings in your body? Very weird. I was like, I went into my first foundation. I'm like, I don't know about other beings, all that weird shit, right? They'd ask me a weird question. I'd be like, yes, what? And then whatever we would change around that would make me feel lighter, happier, different. And I was like, okay, this shit's weird, but it fucking works. And I just kept going after that, because there were so many things in the manual where I was like, I don't understand the question, but it's yes. What does that mean? It kept making me happier. Like, I kept getting different. And I was like, okay, well, maybe the weird shit just works,
And you just said that, like, I kept getting happier. Like, one day I woke up and I was like, I am so happy, there must be something wrong. Like,
I was in so much space, I was certain there was something wrong. I was certain I was dead or something. Like, I didn't.
Why am I so happy? There's so much to be sad about.
Why am I so sad about being so happy? Which is actually when I took my second foundation class. I remember that very vividly. I walked in and I'm like, okay, I've been using all these tools and I'm no longer like overthinking, and I'm no longer like feeling sad all the time. I was sad all the time before that. I'm like, I don't have any of that, but I just don't feel anything. And I remember this, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, because I had spent all of my 40 years feeling things. And in my family, feelings were the valuable thing. So I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel anything. And I remember walking into these great facilitators. I'm so grateful for facilitators. And I was like, I feel nothing. And she's like, well, what's beyond that? I was like, what do you mean, what's beyond that? Like, beyond nothing? Like, she's like, well, is it nothing or is it space? And I was like,
Space.
Like space, it doesn't feel like anything. And she said, well, what if you asked about the intensity of being? And I was like, what's that?
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Which of course she didn't. But I started asking about the intensity of being. And so from there, like, life just kept getting better and more gratitude and more all these sensations I had never had before, because I was so busy feeling all the time. Holy shit.
Wow. And that's the end of our other TED Talk.